Hello, my name is Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. I'm here again with one of the questions that came into Leerburg through the Ask Cindy portal on a behavioral problem that a person has with their dog. And I say at every one of these Q&As that you don't need to be a customer of Leerburg to come to us and ask a question, because when I read a lot of these back, I think it helps a lot of people, especially when we put them on YouTube. Sometimes people think it's a common sense thing to do to train a dog, and common sense is not always common. So in this one, this is about a person that has a 9-month-old German Shepherd, and it sounds like it's a nice dog, and it gets excited and it jumps up on her, and when she tells it to get down, it backs off and barks at her, and it's just annoying, and she's just wondering about some ideas on what she can do. And I've seen this a million times because for 35 years, I bred German Shepherds. I bred them as working dogs for police service work, search and rescue, or the biting dog sports. I bred working dogs, good ones. I haven't bred a dog since 2009. I miss breeding. I miss the puppies. I don't miss having to deal with some of the clients that wouldn't put the work in right to do it right. I won't go into that. Cindy will holler at me. So here's a question. I have a 9-month-old male German Shepherd. He's from German show lines. I bred German working lines, so it's quite a step higher than the German show lines as far as how active they are. He's really a nice temperamented dog, and I believe that. But at this age, he is fresh. I haven't heard that before for a long time. I like it. I'll read you the whole sentence. But at this age, he is fresh. He thinks it's fun to jump up on me. I have to remember that. I don't know how I can use that. I think my granddaughter's fresh. She's 4. So then, go on. He rarely did this when he was 5 months old. That's not surprising. I know he's just playing with me, but it's annoying. He is very gentle when he puts his feet on me. He jumps back and then he barks at me and wags his tail. I don't want him to think that this is okay. I have tried the squirt bottle and sports drink bottle with water. It didn't work, so I added a little bit of vinegar to the water. He now thinks it's a big joke. This doesn't surprise me. She trained him to think it's a big joke. When I have him on a leash in the house, which is most of the time, he drags it around. I grab the leash and correct him when he does something wrong by saying, "No, sit," and I pull up on the leash. I have to watch him constantly so he doesn't chew the leash. Yes, he has a nylabone and Kongs to play with, but I seem to be more fun than the Kongs. I'm hoping you can have some suggestions, or do I have to wait until he matures some? Well, I'm here to tell you that German Shepherds, most of them are slow maturing dogs. And by that I mean, I would say around 2 years, but some can be 3 years, 3.5 years old before they're fully mature. Our dog that we have right now is a little over 3 years old, and he's been a slow maturing dog. He's a very strong dog. He's developed into a very good personal protection dog, and he could do police work or he could do personal protection work. But it took him a while to get there. So I don't think that's a good idea to wait around until the dog matures, because she'd have about possibly 2 years to wait. Has a lot of jumping on you over 2 years. Cindy says, have you taught him to lay down in a designated area on his dog bed? Excellent advice. You know, I have the video I did on basic dog obedience and then intermediate dog obedience, where we teach a dog that it needs to go on its bed, lay down, and stay there. We don't let our dogs play in the house. We don't play with our dogs in the house. When we bring them in from outside, they need to go lay down. I will say this, after having German Shepherds my whole life, I now have a Chihuahua and a Shih Tzu. Both of them are about this big. And a Border Terrier. She's about that big. She's 13. So we have a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. The 2-year-old and the 13-year-old, they'll play in the house together. But When I tell them that it's time to go get on their bed, they go get on their bed. So the thing to look at here is the first thing you have to do is crate train your dog. It has to learn that when you put it in the crate, it's going to stay in the crate until you decide when it comes out. And if he gets barky and crazy and all that stuff, give him something to do in the crate. Get a cow's knuckle bone. Don't give them cooked steak bones. They splinter, can go down in the gut, can perforate a gut, can really cause some medical problems. But you can give him an uncooked cow's knuckle bone. That'll keep him busy. You can give him some of these, we have these go nut treats that are like chew toys. I like them way better than Kongs. In fact, the guy that owns the go nut company is an engineer and scientist that helped develop the material used in Kongs. I think the go nuts, in my opinion, are better. So you can give them something to do in the crate. But then, when they're good in the crate, then they go in an X-pen. And they have to learn to stay in the X-pen. You don't put them in an X-pen and go in the kitchen and start cooking dinner. You have the X-pen in your living room and you put them in the X-pen when you're sitting there watching TV, reading a book, working on your computer. When he starts to try and get out, he learns he's better stay in there. If you have to go over and kick the X-pen a good whack with your leg, especially on a 9-month-old puppy, it would have helped to start at 8 weeks. You have allowed this dog to practice bad behavior for a long time, and it's going to take you much longer to fix it than it would have been had you started when it was right a little cute little devil. They're cute for about 6 or 8 weeks, and then it becomes work. So anyway, keep in mind what I said. If a dog is misbehaving in the house, it's not a bad idea to have a leash on the dog in the house, but that may be after the other 3 scenarios. So in the beginning, I'll have a dog on the leash. When I'm tired of doing it, he goes in the dog crate and he has to learn to stay in there. Then when he's okay in there, then I'll have the dog in the house and he can be on the leash when I feel like it, which isn't going to be for a long time. I'll put him in the X-pen and then I'll sit down next to it. And then from there, depending upon where I am in my training program, I'm going to teach the dog what a dog bed is and that he has to stay on the bed and he doesn't get off the bed until I release him. It's not his decision to get off, it's my decision to get off. And in the beginning, it's only for 30 seconds. It may only be for 10 seconds, maybe for 5, but in the end, the adult dogs are going to stay there until I tell them to get up. That's what they have learned. So, you want to be able to take your dog through your training program in the right order. And in this case, squirting them with a bottle on a German Shepherd that has nice temperament, like she said, he thinks it's a game. So Cindy goes on to say, at some point in time, he needs to understand that it's not okay to put his feet on you. Now again, she's let this dog practice this behavior, so now she's in a position where she's going to have to use more force to stop it. How much force? I can't tell you. I go right back to my definition of a correction. The purpose of a correction is not to punish a dog. The purpose of a correction is to get a behavior change. So she has to figure out what she's going to do for the correction. And if what she's doing doesn't work, she has to amp up the force. If that doesn't work, she has to amp up the force to the point where the dog's no longer doing it anymore. And over here, had it started at a young age, it would never have had to go this far over here. But to ignore it is just going to cause a future behavior problem as that dog continues to mature and become adult. Because then he's going to start to think, I'm the one that figures out what we're going to do around here. You're not going to tell me what to do. That's the way it works. So to become a leader, and it's not a pack leader, but become a leader for your dog, you have to develop a relationship with the dog first, and then you have to teach the dog that there are rules that they must follow to live with you. So you have to decide what your rules are. In this case, this lady's rules are you don't jump on me. You could put up with a little bit of barking. No, never mind. So anyway, there are solutions to all of it. A lot of it is common sense. Some of it's not common sense. But all of it is working with the relationship and establishing rules. And like I said, you got questions? The videos I did on basic dog obedience and intermediate dog obedience are very good. They're not the end. A lot of people think, oh, I can go to an 8-week-old class and I'm going to have a fully trained dog that's going to come and lay in my corner of the house and chew on a bone. That ain't the way it's going to work. It can take months and months and months of hard work to get a dog that's going to go over and lay on a bed and stay there when you ask him to.